Hey everybody, here with another round of Tortured Existence. A shout out to Bamboo Rush. He's a friend of mine on Magic Online, who also plays Popper, obviously, and he agreed to play the match. So we're gonna mulligan this hand because we just don't have the land. This is let's see. We'll keep this. Looks like we're up against White Weenie. Alright, so we should Faithless Looting here and try to. Alright, I guess we'll get rid of the Gathan Raiders and the Mountain. And then I'm not going to draw a land for my next two turns, and I'm gonna feel dumb for pitching the Mountain. But I think next turn we play the Mirror. Oh, actually, you could play the Mog too. We'll see what he does. All right, so we should get rid of that. Let's see. We'll play this. We'll play the Mirror. It's good here now because it's gonna 2-for-1 him. Or if not 2-for-1, then it'll eat up the token and then kill the priest. All right. Okay. So here we could play the. Yeah, I guess we'll play this because this will build up our ground. That's not really a problem because we could snuff it out. And I mean we could. There's nothing we really want to Mesmeric Fiend, and he would just kill it and get it back anyway. So we'll play the Marshal. We'll lose a bunch of life, but that's not too big of a deal right now. We'll play that, and then we'll search for a swamp. And then when he goes to equip this, we'll snuff out. And we'll kill that, and then we'll get our swamp at the end of the turn. And then we could, well, depending on what we draw, or we could pay the Echo. Yeah, right now we might be best off just playing the Echo, paying the Echo on the Marshal, and then just playing Fume Spitter for our next turn. We'll draw and see. Okay, that makes me. So white has enchantment removal in, I forget the name of the card, but uh, it's some kind of core thing. I don't know. It has enchantment removal. So I'm whereas most decks I would just slap the Tortured Existence down and be completely okay with it. Uh, there's there's less of an incentive to do it against white because you could end up just wasting it. There's a good chance he's just not gonna have that card. It's not usually doesn't see main deck play, and it's more of a sideboard thing at best. But sometimes it shows up because I mean most decks have some type of artifact to hit or some type of enchantment to hit. So thinking ahead to sideboarding, the Ingot Chewer is going to be really good in this matchup because the white Weenie deck relies very heavily on the Razor Golems and the Bone Splitters to get there. So by shutting that off, uh, we can interact with them pretty significantly. What do we have in here? Do we just Faithless Looting? We could play the Fiend. No, I guess. Yeah, I guess we'll Faithless Looting. See what we get. Probably should have just held on to the land until I did that, but okay. Let's see. And we'll just get rid of that. We'll just discard it normally. Right now, I think just another Fume Spitter on board is it's gonna put us very far ahead. He can't. I mean, we should probably get rid of that, but. We have the board pretty locked down. The worst thing that could happen here is a Squadron Hawk, and then he could put the Bone Splitters on and start swinging over us, but we can still get rid of those. But as it stands, we have the board held down pretty well, and it's going to be tough for him to push through for damage. And then we have the Tortured Existence. So if we get any type of dredging guy. Okay, so the choice here is, do we just kill that? Guess let's kill the priest. Because we could like block with the Fume Spitter and then put a counter on it, and then next turn block with the Fume Spitter again and then put another counter on it. And that's okay trading with that. Well, might as well do that. Alright. Alright, so that's perfect. We'll do this to block that, and then we'll drop the Tortured Existence. I think it's... And then so next turn we can just... Well, actually, we should Fume Spitter that so he can't kill the Stinkweed Imp by just Javelining it. Is that a... I don't think that's a verb, but it will be for the purposes of of magic. Alright, so that's not good. That's actually pretty bad right now. So what happens here? I think we'll just block it. I mean, we could wait until. Alright, let's see what we. Alright, so. Uh, so had we waited, we'd be able to get rid of the razor golem. Okay, and then here we'll just. So we have 2 turns to come up with something. Any creature really will do. A stinkweed imp would be wonderful. He has no cards in hand. Okay. If he draws a bone splitter, we lose. But he didn't. Alright. We have lots of outs, so I'm not too worried. Okay, that's not. Let's see what we get. Alright, so we're going to lose this. We lose this one. We'll concede, go to round 2. Let's see what kind of sideboarding we can do here. We want the chewers, they're going to be good. The life staffs are also going to be good. Something to consider is they're going to have Guardian of the Guild Pact, which is going to be tough to get rid of. Echoing, well, we have 2 of those. Fester Creeps are good against the Hawks. And we also might want to. We should probably also bring in the Gate Warden just to go against Guardian of the Guild Pact, just so we have some kind of multicolored option and don't have to rely on losing to it. Or the mirrors. The mirrors can also kill it, but that gets really difficult and complicated. Snuff out is. It's not really needed. Now that we're bringing in the chewers, they're not going to have a lot of great targets for it. Let's see. We don't need the Mesmeric Fiends because they're gonna be aggro, so we don't have to. I mean, these are control-oriented cards. Let's see. We have 3. Okay, so we have a lot of space. We'll take out one of those. So, yeah, I'm not. Okay, I guess the Echoing Decays can come out for the Fester Creep since they're doing the same thing, but Fester Creep does it better. That's going to be my. Oh, we actually. Okay, so. Okay, I'll bring one of those. We want those. Alright, let's do this. I'd really like to hear your thoughts on the sideboarding for this matchup, because once again, the deck is pretty complicated in regards to sideboarding and stuff, so there's probably some things I'm overlooking right now, being in the moment in the game. But I think this should be good. We'll submit that. This looks okay. We'll get a swamp first, and And then we could Death Spark whatever he plays first. He'll probably have, I don't know, maybe a Javelin or something. And then we could Fume Spitter on top of that, and then we could play the Stinkweed in. I don't know why I cracked that early, but it's not a big deal. Alright, so we just have to make sure we Death Spark before we Fume Spit or something. Unless he uses like a Journey on the Fume Spitter, which he's not going to do. Okay, so we'll Death Spark. Kill that. So now we have the option of killing that or just playing the Stinkweed Imp. I guess we'll just play the Stinkweed Imp. There's no need to, because if he hasn't out to the Stinkweed Imp, he's just gonna use it, and that'll be his turn, and then we could do the same thing, which we were initially gonna do next turn, which would be return to Death Spark and then Fume Spit or something. No, I mean, all right. So he's gonna Journey, and then we'll Fume Spitter the Squadron Hawk, and then we can get back Death Spark and just really stop him from building up any kind of offense. And the more we get into the mid-range late game, the better this deck becomes. So that's the goal. Okay, yes, I would like to do that. Okay, that's good. And Gathen Raiders right now is actually an out too. Well, it's not an out. Yeah, it can block the Razor Golem. And maybe we could work it in a way so that okay. To work it in a way so that we can block and then flip it and then get a little bit of extra from it. So yeah, and then how we have to do this is make sure we flip this first and then Death Spark the bird. Otherwise, we're going to end up burying the Death Spark, which is something I have been pretty bad at remembering through my trials with this deck. And then the Death Spark's gonna keep the birds from like doing anything too out of hand. So, okay. So we'll flip this and do that. And then we can put the life staff on and start swinging with this, which is going to be pretty tough for him to handle, I would imagine, unless he has another journey or something. 2 cards in his hand are Squadron Hawk. So that's going to be difficult to deal with. I guess we just put the life staff on him. I guess that works. Okay. Oh, that's okay. Destroys the life staff. That was the card I was thinking of earlier. Obviously. So, do we swing in here? He ends up killing this. I guess we just leave it up, because otherwise he's going to beat us for a ton more with all the other things. Our outs to Guardian are the Mirror or the Gate Warden, which we just sided in, which would hit it for 2 Wither and then leave it as a 0/1, which wouldn't do anything. And and the life. All right, so the life staff got buried the Death Spark, so that's not good. This game's not looking good for us. Yeah. Partially because we've drawn a lot of lands. I'm trying to think of things that could have gone differently. And I don't know. Alright, well we still have, what do we have? 3, 4, 5, 6. We have this turn. Alright. I mean, I guess I should have been attacking there, but let's see. If he hits us for 6 this turn, yeah, he only have to hit us for 4, and there's no way we can block all of that. So unfortunately, I think we're gonna lose this one. Partially because we had a slow start. Had the Stinkweed Imp, okay, and that's just gonna do us in. Let's see what our next draw is. Maybe. I don't know. Had we drawn some things instead of just tons of land, we probably would have been a little bit better. We definitely would have been better off. We'll block that there, and we're still gonna go to 4. I don't think we have any outs to this, and that is certainly not it. Alright, so I'm going to concede here. Alright. Alright, yeah, so I think this match was largely a result of Flood. I mean, this second round was. The first one, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't think of a specific instance where things went really astray, but maybe it'll come up in the replays uh, and whatnot. Still, I think this matchup doesn't seem too bad for the deck, depending on what kind of start we have. Uh, Once again, as the match moves toward the mid range, uh, I guess this is mono white compared to all the other aggro decks, which Stompy, Infect, Goblins, and mono white are all aggro. The mono white is going to be the hardest because it's also the one geared most toward the mid range. Whereas I the for Infect, you just like a single Death Spark or a Fume Spitters just really shuts the whole deck down. Same thing with Stompy. Uh, what was I saying? um, Mono white is also gets stronger as the game progresses, as opposed to weaker, which is the case with the previous aggro decks. Nonetheless, I think once if we were able to get some removal engines going a little bit more efficiently, then I think that's the goal of that matchup. And if we get online and we could start death sparking and fume spittering, okay, a little more frequently, uh, I think the matchup works in our favor. And if we don't, and they get a really aggressive start, or they get Guardian of the Guild pack, which we have pretty few answers to, and they also have all of the ways to interact with the Journey to Nowheres, particularly with the with the Stinkweed Imps to stop it from dredging, and that slows us down a lot. So perhaps maybe that was one of the areas of misplay where that we should hold on to and try to pitch the Stinkweed Imp. I don't know. All right. So once again, a shout out to Bamboo Rush for playing that matchup with me. I'm gonna pause the video here. Thank you for watching.